Hi, this is me, Wu. This is my semester reflection for 702. The action research was inspired by the current international student recruitment trend in the US. There is a flattening trend of the overall international student recruitment and also a declining trend for new student enrollment as far as students enrolling in the US for the first time. Essentially, the problem practice is to explore how higher education institutions in the US can effectively utilize WeChat as a marketing and communication tool to facilitate the recruitment of international students from China. The innovation selected for the action research is WeChat. It's a one application that does it all really for the users. As of right now, there are over 1 billion registered users worldwide. For one, WeChat can be your messaging tool, replacing the traditional phone calls, text messaging, and image messaging. It will also function as a payment tool, which is very similar to Apple Pay, but with more vendors you can use it on. It also has a lot of third-party applications built into the app, which will allow you to fulfill different functions, like using it as a travel site, using it to order your taxis and Ubers, using it to order takeouts and all that. This is what we will be discussing in this presentation. I will start with a brief discussion on the second one, action research, and then talk about the potential changes with my context and the theoretical frameworks. And I also mention the connections between the problem practice and the contemporary issues, as well as the purpose of education that we have discussed in this course. Here is the brief comparison between Cycle 0 and Cycle 1 research. Cycle 0 research focused more from the perspectives of Chinese students. It was a mixed methods research combining quantitative service and qualitative interviews. The quantitative service were with first-year Chinese students enrolled at ASU, and the qualitative interviews were with higher education professionals working at ASU with experience in international student services and also social media marketing in general. Through Cycle 0 research is some of the recommendations made for the innovation is to convert ASU's WeChat account from a personal subscription account to a corporate service account, which has stronger functions and more ways from the administrator's perspective you can utilize and manipulate. And also to improve on the content of the WeChat account and to increase interactions between the account and its followers. Cycle 1 research looked at the problem practice more from the perspectives of institutions. It was also a mixed methods research combining qualitative interviews and observation notes for both quantitative and qualitative data. The qualitative interviews were still with higher education professionals working at ASU, but more specifically with experience in working with Chinese students and also operating WeChat accounts. The observations were done on existing WeChat accounts of ASU's peer institutions identified by the Arizona border regions. Through Cycle 1 research, some of the findings were to continue building on the contents, considering especially it is a new account. So the content can be more targeting towards Chinese students, what they're interested in, what they're concerned about, and also involving the perspectives of their parents. And also to increase the interactions still between the account and also its followers. With this being a new account to actually refine on the structure and make it easier to navigate, so the users can freely explore the account and the previously posted information by themselves. In addition, to use the functions offered by the corporate service account of WeChat, including data management and data tracking. Through Cycle 1 research, one of the concepts that was being promoted was the community of practice. I've noticed this through my observations on other WeChat accounts and also through my conversations with higher education practitioners working at ASU. A lot of WeChat accounts are one account that facing different kind of populations a university would have. So you will see most of them have one WeChat account targeting prospective student, current students, and also alumni. Versus at ASU, the practice is very siloed. We have 3 different accounts for 3 different populations, and there's very little interactions between the different departments. Moving forward, considering the bigger context of at ASU, we really should embrace this concept of practice, even if, say, based on the office structure, it's not possible to merge all WeChat 3 accounts for ASU together, but we should really increase the dialogues between different offices to view international students as a whole population and to have a centralized approach towards international student recruitment, servicing international students, and also alumni engagement as well. As far as the theoretical framework goes, it's still heavily based on the theories focused in cycle 1, the uses and gratification theory. Essentially, the theory is assuming audience and users active in their media consumption. When they are consuming media, there are certain gratifications they're trying to seek. And if they're able to obtain those gratifications through the media consumption process, they're more likely to continue consuming the certain type of media. Based on the theory, there's a model, the main model being developed, essentially talking about modality, agency, interactivity, and navigability of the medium. So for the WeChat account, the new WeChat account really needs to have diverse content that combines different kind of modality, including articles, pictures, and videos, really offer users the chance to exert their agency, promote user-generated content, and then easy way for them to navigate through the account by themselves freely, increase the interaction between the account and its followers, and again goes back to the usability as far as how to most best attract the users. Another theory used for cycle 1 was the social influence theory. Essentially, influence people's decisions and influence people's behaviors through their socially relevant others. In this case, is really taking in the perspectives of the parents, considering the influence they have and the power of influence they have over the Chinese students when they're selecting colleges and universities in the US. Math problem practice is also connected to the contemporary issues we have discussed in this course. One of them is the budget cut issues in education that we have discussed during the second section of the course. Because of the budget cuts, a lot of institutions are start seeing international students as potential new revenue source. What comes with this concept, though, is how we can enhance the international student services to better their experience here and also to ensure their student success. Another issue is connected to the current political and social climate here in the US, which made some international students, particularly the Middle Eastern population, somewhat feel unwelcomed here. This also promoted the more international student activism, which was interesting because traditionally international students are more of the quiet ones on campus, potentially due to their cultural background. They might not be used to speak up for their rights, or due to the restraints on their immigration status. They are afraid of getting in trouble if they start being more active on campus. But with the support of different populations on campus and from the faculty and the staff members, we start seeing more international students being more active on campus in speaking up for their rights as well. Essentially, there are the public purpose and also the private purpose to education. When I connect that to international students, for the public purpose, I see the diversity that we need to embrace as institutions and as practitioners. So we need to be more culturally sensitive in our practice, and we also need to encourage international students to freely represent the culture, freely embrace the different cultures they're part of, to really form their cultural identity of being proud of multiculturalism. And as far as the private purpose goes, it's connecting me to the different education methods of teaching and also student services that we need to be aware of, be sensitive about when it comes to international students. In this way, again, to talk about international students' experience and also international students' success as well. Here is a list of my references. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, let me know.